Alright, Rich Van Tassel back with you. Just had the conclusion of the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Detroit Pistons. The Cavaliers winning by 17, 107 to 90. Now, Detroit had the lead after one. It was, or down by two, 55-53 at halftime was Detroit. Cleveland outscored them 27 to 15 in the third, 25 to 22 in the fourth, a total of 52 to 37. That's where the difference really came from. And looking at this game again, it was the 3-point shots. Detroit 4 for 17, 23.5. Cleveland 20 for 38, 52.6. Overall, they were 40 out of 80, shooting 50% from the floor. So 3-point shooting clearly the story of the playoffs. LeBron James, spectacular game, 12 of 18 from the floor to a 4 from three-point land. 27 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Kyrie Irving, very good as well with 22 points, but only 4 assists. Kevin Love, 16 points, 3 of 7 from behind the arc. J.R. Smith contributed very nicely. Even though he was -4, he had 21 points, 7 of 13 shooting. He shot 7 of 11 from three-point land. So you'll take the -4 when a guy's giving you 21 points off, or all his points off of three-point shots. The bench really made the difference in this game. The highest player in the plus-minus for the starters for Cleveland was James at +10. Richard Jefferson and Matthew Dellavedova both +25. Channing Frye +18. Tristan Thompson got the start. He did not come off the bench, so can't have him there, even though I had him on my all-reserve team. For the Pistons, Andre Drummond, 20 points, but only 7 rebounds. Reggie Jackson, 14 points. He was +6, 7 of 14 shooting. Did not get to the line, though. Did have 6 assists. Marcus Morris, 11 points. Tobias Harris with 13 points. Now, watching this game, it's still very much what I predicted. Again, I've said this many times. These are very similar lineups when you look at it. Even if you have Tristan Thompson starting for Cleveland instead of Mozgov, they're both... Mozgov's a little bit bigger, so physically he matches Andre Drummond a lot, but both do the same things offensively, Andre Drummond and Tristan Thompson, that is. The bench very similar as well. You also have Caldwell Pope, who's similar to J.R. Smith, so it's not surprising that that Detroit is hanging around and giving Cleveland some problems in that regard. And really, you've got to look at it as Stan Van Gundy is probably a better coach than Tyronn Lue, and you're saying, well, the Cavaliers are up 2-0. You know, what's with the Detroit Love Fest? Well, Detroit is the 8th seed, Cleveland's the 1 seed, and Detroit is really giving Cleveland problems thus far. I'd expect Detroit to win 1, if not 2, when they go back to Detroit. You know those fans are going to be rabid. I would look for Game 3 to be in favor of Detroit without any questions, but if Cleveland continues to shoot well from three-point land, then Detroit's not going to get the win. But I expect, as we discussed with the other teams, such as the Celtics, the Charlotte Hornets as well, when they go back home, their three-point shots are going to start to fall. And the road team, in this case it'll be Cleveland, their shots will not all go in. And I just don't expect them to make 20 of 38 from behind the arc. These teams have got to shoot better from 3, though. You know, Cleveland took more than twice as much, as almost 2.5 as many 3-point shots. So it's not like Detroit just kept flinging them up. Sometimes you got to try that in order to keep pace. And actually, in this game, this might have been a situation where I think it would have been better suited if Detroit decided to start hoisting threes, you know, opposed to the Celtics game where they just kept shooting 3-point shots and they're not hitting them. When Cleveland's making them at such a torrid pace, you got to try to balance that out. We'll see what happens when this series goes back to Detroit, though. Again, I like the way the Pistons match up. I just think they're a bit inferior all the way around talent-wise, but certainly they are similar players at each position. All right, so again, the game right now, the Clippers and the Portland Trail Blazers, we will give you the recap of that tomorrow. We, of course, have the games coming up tomorrow as well, checking that right now. Should be only 2 games on the docket, I believe. Once my computer stops dicking around. Whatever. I believe it's Houston and Golden State. And the other game should be Toronto and Indiana. That's almost certain. maybe 3 of them. I don't know if Memphis and San Antonio are getting run in that game, but we'll see. And we'll give you the recap of course, any of those games tomorrow. So, really appreciate the views. I wanted, even though this is not for a Celtics one, I forgot to give these guys a shout out last night. CLNS Radio, who's been giving me some time on there. So if they see this video, I appreciate that. I did the video before I was asked to give the shout out for that yesterday, so I'm doing that now. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I should be calling in Friday. I do have work. I don't know how much of the game I'm going to be able to see, but certainly like to thank those guys, Nick Gilso, all those guys really helping me out. So just wanted to give them a shout out. Be sure everyone watching my video to check them out. And hopefully when they see this, they appreciate the time. Thank you guys so much.